Hi everybody, this is Gigi Dren from Kauai Community College. In this video, we will be talking about division of fraction. All right, so let's get started. All right, so I want to talk about the progression of teaching division of fractions. So let's start with a review of what it means to divide whole number by a whole number. And this is the scenario where we would see fraction come in, right? So suppose you have 5 cookies and you are splitting them with these three kids here, right? So that is calling for 5 cookies divided by 3 kids. How many does each one get, right? How much does each one get? So let's start with taking these 3 cookies and give each one of them a cookie. And then what are we going to do with the rest of the cookies? Well, there's not enough for a whole cookie for each one. So we're going to have to take that cookie and split that into thirds, meaning into 3 equal parts. And then each one of these kids will get a third. Okay, and then do the same for the second cookie that is left there. Okay, then each one of these will also get a third. So visually, we can see that each kid will get 1 2/3 of the cookie, right? So this means 5 divided by 3 is 1 2/3. Okay, now let's review then what division means. 5 divided by 3 is blank. By definition, we would say blank times 3 would have to equal to 5, right? So let's check to see if 2 1/3 multiplied to 3 will equal to 5. Well, we can see here that 3 groups of 1 is 3, 3 groups of 1/3 is 1 whole, and then 3 groups of 1/3 is 1 whole. So altogether, that's 5. So the answer checks out, and therefore 5 divided by 3 is 1 2/3. All right, so let's again take a look at whole number divided by whole number. But in this case, the scenario is a little bit different, right? You only have 3 chocolate bars and you are going to split them into 4 kids. So how does that happen? Well, you're going to have to take each individual bar right there and give each one of them a quarter. And then take the second chocolate bar, give each one of them a quarter. And then take that last chocolate bar and give each one of them a quarter. So altogether, each one of them get 3/4 of a piece of chocolate bar. Therefore, we would say 3 divided by 4 is 3/4. Because really, when we look at it, 4 groups of 3/4 makes 3 whole. And that's what division means, right? Inverse of multiplication. And visually, we can see it right there. All right. Now, after reviewing whole number divided by whole number, you will go to fraction divided by a whole number. For example, 4 kids share 2/3 of a pizza. The adults ate the other third. Okay, what fraction of a pizza does each one of them get? All right, let's visualize that. So here is 2/3, right? That's how we see that in a pizza, and this is how we see it in a rectangular bar. 2 pieces out of 3. Then we are going to take 2/3 and divide it by 4. Well, how do we do that when we only have 2 pieces at hand to split to 4 equal parts? Well, let's take a look at 2/3, but using smaller parts. That means this. I'm going to split each one of those blue bars into 2 bars. Now, 2/3 is the same as 4/6. So we have 2/3 divided by 4 is the same as 4/6 divided by 4, right? So dividing by 4 means to go ahead and split them into 4 equal parts. Then how much is in each equal part? Okay, meaning 4 groups of what is 4/6? Well, let's go take a look. 1 group, 2 groups, 3, 4. So each one of those groups has 1/6 in it. 4/6 divided by 4 is 1/6. Pause the video and just say that and see if that makes sense. 4/6 divided by 4 is 1/6. All right. Same scenario, fraction divided by whole number. Okay, so this bottle of orange juice right there, I have confirmed that it's 3/4 of a gallon. How much of a gallon does each one of these hydro get if we take the whole entire bottle and fill it up? Fill each one of those hydro equally. Okay, so that means 3/4. Let's visualize that. And we want to divide up by 5. All right, so again, I have 3 pieces, but I need to split into 5 equal parts. So that's kind of hard to see. So what I'm going to do is I am going to see them in smaller equal parts by taking each one of those blue ones and divide them into 5 smaller pieces. And so now that looks like this. My whole is 20 small little pieces, and the 3/4 would now becomes 15/20. I'm going to take that and divide it by 5. And so then 1 group, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 equal groups, right? So as you can see right there, each one of those groups contain 3/20 of the whole entire 1 bar. So then 15/20, okay, 15/20 divided by 5 is 3/20. Let's say that out loud again. 15/20 divided by 5 is 3/20. All right, there you go. Now, after a fraction divided by a whole number, we go the other way around and talk about a whole number divided by a fraction. Okay, so each Portuguese sweetbread recipe calls for 1/3 of a cup of sugar. If you have 5 cups of sugar, Jessica has 5 cups of sugar and she wants to use it all. How many recipes can she make? So the question is asking you to take 5 divided by 1/3, right? So 5 divided 1/3 is blank because blank times 1/3 is 5. Okay, so what times 1/3 is 5? How many groups of 1/3 will equal to 5? Well, I know 3 groups of 1/3 is 1. So I know 15 groups of 1/3 would be 15/3, or we would say that is 5. Okay, so that 15 right there is your answer. But think about how we could make that work. 5 is the same as 15/3, right? So we will have 15/3 divided by 1/3 is equal to 15. Pause the video and say that sentence over again. 15/3 divided by 1/3 is 15. Okay. Let's take a look at this one. Whole number divided by gallon. Okay, so Jessica made 15 gallons of sweet tea. She's gonna reuse those orange juice bottles that were 3/4 of a gallon to transport the tea to sell at her soccer game. How many bottles does she need so that she can carry the whole entire 15 gallons to the field? Well, that is calling for a division problem. 15 divided by 3/4 is what? Well, that means what times 3/4 give me 15? How many groups of 3/4 will give me 15? Well, 20 groups of 3/4 is 60 quarters, which turns out to be 15. Now, how do you relate that 15 to the 60 over 4? Well, let's take a look. Instead of thinking 15 divided by 3/4, we can think of it as 60/4 divided by 3/4 is 20. Let's say that one more time. 60/4 divided by 3/4 is 20. Because 60 divided by 3 is 20. How does that work? Can we always just take the numerators and divide when you have a common denominator? That's weird, right? Okay, well, let's justify how that works. Have you ever heard that you need a common denominator when you divide? Well, in this class, you can, right? So let's take a look. 6/7 divided by 2/7, if my hypothesis is true, then I would say that the answer should be 6 divided by 2, which is 3. But let's just think about that for a second. How many groups of 2/7 is 6/7? Well, you should see 3 groups, right? 3 times 2/7 is 6/7. But let's take a look really visually and justify that. Okay, so here's my 6/7. I am going to count how many groups of 2/7. So here's one group, 2 groups, 3 groups of 6/7. Therefore, 3 times 2/7 is 6/7. Or we will say 6/7 divided by 2/7 is 3. 6/7 divided by 2/7 is 6 divided by 2, which is 3. That would be cool if that always worked, right? Then you would wonder, well, what if it doesn't come out nice? Like instead of 6, what if you have 5? Well, if the conjecture works, then it should be 5 divided by 2, which is 2.5. Well, we'll see. Is it? 5/7 divided by 2/7, based on what we've seen previously, should be 5 divided by 2. Well, we'll see how that works. Visually, here I have 5/7, 5 pieces out of 7, that's my whole. Then I am asking myself, blank times what? Blank times 2/7 will equal to 5/7, meaning how many groups of 2/7 are there? Well, let's go count. 1 group of 2/7, 2 groups of 3/7, and half a group of 2/7. Therefore, the answer is 2.5. There are 2.5 groups of 2/7. And yes, you just take 5 divided by 2. if the denominators are the same. All right, here's a word problem for you. So Katie wants 1/12 of a pound of bird seeds in each cage. She has 2/3 of a pound. How many cages can she fill? Well, don't forget model drawing, right? First thing you're going to do is to restate the answer as a complete sentence, leaving blank for the answer. Kaylee can fill blank cages. Just to keep our eye on the end. And then what is involved? Bird seeds. How much bird seed do you have? That much. And that much is 2/3 of a pound. Then what are we going to do? Split them in 1/12 of a pound each cage. I can have 2 cages fill. How many cages can I fill? That calls for a division problem. 2/3 divided by 1/12 is what? Well, based on what we have seen previously, if we have a common denominator, then we can do it. So, or we can think blank, how many groups of 1/12 are there in 2/3? Well, it's kind of hard to see then with the denominators not being the same, and that's your motivation. Let's put the 2/3 as 8/12, right? If you split those equal parts into 4 each, then you would have 8 out of 12 as opposed to 2 out of 3. So 8/12 divided by 1/12, how many groups of 1/12 are there in 8/12? Well, of course, there are 8 groups of 1/12. Or we can say 8 divided by 1 is 8, right? All right, here's another one. So he needs to buy 7 1/3 feet of electrical wire. But each one of those spools only have 1 5/6 of a feet of wire. How many spools does he have to buy in order to get what he needed, right? So again, answer sentence. He should buy blank spools. What is involved? Electrical wire. How much? I need 7 1/3 feet. Well, each one of those spools only have 1 5/6. How many spools must I buy or in order to get 7 1/3 feet? That is a model of a division problem. Therefore, we would think 7 1/3 divided by 1 5/6, right? Now, if you think about a definition, you would say how many groups of 1 5/6 is 7 1/3, which is what the question is asking, right? How many spools do you need? Well, let's think of these as fractions. So 7 is 21/3 because each whole has 3 parts. 7 whole has 21 parts, plus 1 more third, that is 22/3. Divided by 6 and 5, 1 5/6. Well, 1 is 6 parts plus the 5 parts there, so you have 11/6. Okay, according to what we did before, we can say, hey, that is 44/6 divided by 11/6. And then we are thinking how many groups of 11/6 are there in 44/6? Well, 44 divided by 11 is 4. He needs 4 spools of electrical wires. Fractions are fun. Hope you enjoy.